Hello, my name is Ash, a counselor in training. This is my Relatable study podcast for individuals who need help studying for their NCE, CPCE, and other related counseling exams. I'm going to go through many questions from multiple resources and make the answers relatable to both you and me. So get your listening ears on and let's get studying. Robert Keegan speaks of a holding environment in counseling in which the client is urged to relive a traumatic experience in an encounter group. B. Biofeedback training is highly recommended. C. The client can make meaning in the face of a crisis and can find new direction. D. The activity of meaning making is discouraged. The answer is C. The client can make meaning in the face of a crisis and can find new direction, is what Robert Keegan speaks of holding environment in counseling. For example, a client may have gone through a tornado. That is a traumatic experience and is a crisis for them because they are in fear of the next tornado. Within their counseling sessions, they're able to face that crisis and finding new direction to it, where they are able to find meaning. This tornado happened. Maybe I can help others in being able to deliver the weather to them, provide future counseling to clients who never received counseling for this tornado, so on and so forth. So the client is making meaning of their crisis and are able to find a new direction in life. That is holding the environment. What is permanency planning? Permanency planning is seeking out permanent placement that should begin when the client is admitted into the care of Child Protective Services, and the initial plan of care is developed within that time. Permanent placement may include foster care, kinship placement, adoption, reunification, residential facility care, group home, or transition into adult living. Children who are put into the Child Protective Services are looking for a permanent placement via any type of family until they transition into adulthood. Most experts in the field of counseling agree: A. No theory completely explains developmental processes, thus counselors ought to be familiar with all major theories. B. Ericksonian theory should be used by counselors practicing virtually any modality. C. A counselor who incorporates Piaget's stage into their thinking would not necessarily need knowledge of revival therapeutic viewpoints. D. A ritualistic counselor needs to pick one developmental theory in the same manner they picks a psychotherapeutic persuasion. The answer is A. Most experts in the field of counseling agree that no one theory completely explains developmental processes, thus counselors ought to be familiar with all the major theories. This is true as counselors in training. We go through Freud, Erikson, and many other developmental processes to better understand how children are raised up from infancy to the elderly and everything in between, because it is an important part of counseling to understand where people may be stuck as well as where they face their issues. Working with individuals from different cultures requires that the counselor do all of the following except: A. Have sensitivity to the needs of the individuals. B. Make a referral to another counselor. C. Have knowledge about different cultures. D. Consider utilizing an interpreter if language differences are present. The answer is C. When working with individuals from different cultures requires that the counselor do all of the following except make a referral to another counselor. As counselors, we must have sensitivity to the needs of the individual, have knowledge about different cultures, and consider utilizing an interpreter if the language differences are also present. The only time we need to make a referral to another counselor is when we reach our area of competency, or an assessment needs to be made. Apart from that, we can work with the individual. And if there is any different cultures that we are unaware of, we must do our research into those cultures so that we are best able to help our clients. Equilibration is a term which emphasizes the equality between the sexes. B, performed via the id according to Freudians. B, a synopsis for concrete operational thought. D, the balance between what one takes in, assimilation, and that which is changed, accommodation. The answer is D. Equilibration is the balance between what one takes in and that which is changed. For example, when counselors meet clients, they are able to take in what the client says in assimilation, and they are able to accommodate and be able to provide change. If you have a better example, please leave it down in the comments. That is all 5 questions. Thank you for listening. Keep calm and study on.